Amy was thrown from a horse when she was 21 years old. After being rushed to the hospital, she learned that her neck was broken in 2 places, along with one of the vertebrae in her thoracic spine. She was paralyzed from the chest down. For nearly a week, she was unable to breathe on her own. She spent 30 days in the hospital and another 5 months in a rehab facility. After a year of outpatient therapy, Amy recovered some feeling and movement below her chest, but it wasn't enough to function. For the next 25 years, she experimented with multiple forms of rehab and physical therapy, doing everything she could to regain function and improve her quality of life. "I sometimes made a little bit of progress," she said, "but not enough to make an actual difference." In the meantime, doctors and physical therapists continued to tell her she would never walk again. When she came to NeuFit for an initial evaluation, Amy didn't know what to expect. "Let's just see what happens," she told herself. We started her treatment with 15 minutes of electrical stimulation therapy, targeting the pathways between her brain and nervous system. "That was on a Monday," Amy said. "Tuesday night, when I went to sleep, I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning and felt like I could move my leg." After thinking it over for a few minutes, she decided to give it a try. To her amazement, for the first time in 25 years, Amy was able to pull her left leg toward her chest, and that was after 1 session. How was this possible? And why had over 2 decades in rehab and physical therapy produced such disappointing results for her up to that point? The limits of a traditional rehab approach. Traditional approaches to rehab often focus on the bones and tissues, or the equivalent of the body's hardware. When someone has a neurological injury like Amy's, or another type of injury or chronic pain, they often assume that treating the body's physical structure is the best way to fix the problem. This is why people commonly turn to surgery, joint braces, anti-inflammatory medicines, and conventional physical therapy in an attempt to mend what's broken. Though these approaches can alleviate the physical damage to the body, they often fail to address the underlying cause of that damage, not to mention the body's dysfunctional response to the original injury. As a result, conventional, hardware-focused treatments tend to have a limited impact on patients' long-term healing and health. When their doctors and therapists focus exclusively on the body's physical structure, patients often struggle to fully recover and regain strength and range of motion. In the meantime, patients like Amy frequently hit a wall when it comes to improving their ability to function. The limits of a conventional approach to rehab apply in a fitness training context as well. Even if someone is able to make the transition from rehab to training, traditional training methods typically focus on the body's physical structure. More often than not, these methods don't give the body the stimulation it needs to achieve meaningful results and perform at peak levels. The power in the body's software. As Amy's experience demonstrates, we have the potential to make a major difference in both healing and performance without changing the body's physical structure, its hardware, at all. How? By reprogramming the brain and nervous system, or the equivalent of the body's software. Like a computer's operating system, the brain and nervous system send signals that influence the way every part of the body runs and interacts. In other words, the nervous system's software controls the body's hardware, affecting how the bones, muscles, connective tissue, and organs function and work together. Since the nervous system impacts almost every function in the human body, focusing on the nervous system during rehab and training can create profound improvements in healing and performance. Amy's experience shows how this works in practice. One NeuFit session definitely wasn't enough for her body to heal any of its structural hardware or repair her original spinal cord injury. Instead, it was a shift in her neurological software that helped her progress more quickly than she ever thought possible.